Hi. Wait, can you talk for a sec? Last night I got literally heinous. Literally heinous with Lily Maslia.
Hello and welcome back to Literally Heinous. Super special guest on today. Maggie Crane is a stand-up comedian. She's a writer. She's a stand-up comedy teacher. Just for Laughs New Faces 2025. Her solo show Side by Side was at Netflix as a joke in Edinburgh Fridge.
At the fridge. Honey, it was at the fridge. It was on the fridge. It's on my mom's fridge.
Edinburgh Fringe.
Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Edinburgh Fringe Festival. And she is here on Literally Heinous. She's my former teacher. Yes. She's a Brooklyn star. Maggie Crane, welcome to Literally Heinous.
Thank you for having me. This is years in the making. Ever since I met you in my class, I knew I would be on your podcast.
That's so nice of you to say. When I moved to New York, December 2023, like first thing I did was sign up for a BCC stand-up class, and you were my teacher, and it was the best decision I've ever made.
I remember one of your jokes so clear. Look, my thing about my stand-up class is like, there's some people I'll forget their names or I'll forget their faces, but I always remember people by their jokes, which is really funny. Is like people who I haven't seen in years, I'll be like, hi Maggie. I'm like, oh, you're the one with the dead mom, and your mom got remarried, and you wrote a really good joke about it. And they're like, what the hell? No, but you had this joke that I've remembered so well. You had this joke that was like, going on a date with a guy, and he like the name of the street was like Arapahoe Road, and the guy was like Rapahoe, and your punchline was like, and I was like, and I thought that was so. I think of that like, how many times when you're younger does a man say the most literally heinous thing you've ever seen or heard, and you just go, and in your head you're like.
It's such a Maggie joke too. Like, it makes sense that you like that one. I'm like, that's so you coded. But yeah, I was in my single days, which was very short-lived. Flex. Fuck you guys. I was on like a Tinder date with this guy who turned out to be a Satanist, which is not germane to the story, but he was driving me back to my cousin's apartment, and the Google was like, turn right on Arapahoe Road. And then he turns and looks at me and he's like, I rape a hoe. And I was like, that's so true. You couldn't pay me to go back to those days.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, it's over. It's over.
It is over. You're a married woman.
I am a married woman.
Newly married.
Yes, I am. I got married last August.
Yeah.
And it's been great.
And your wedding was fabulous.
My wedding was fabulous. It was like all the like cliches. It's like, it was the best day of my life. I'm like so happy with how it came together. The month before my wedding was maybe the worst month of my life.
Really?
I don't know if it's going to be like this with your family. Like, everyone was mad at me. My mom is like, God bless her, and hello Maureen, but like my mom was like so mad at me because I didn't want to have flowers at my wedding. My wedding was outside.
Yeah.
I was like, girl.
Yeah.
Look in the yard. And she was like, you're not gonna have flowers at your wedding. She was like freaking out at me. Everyone was asking you the worst questions of your life. It's just like, it's so annoying. And then you have a wedding, and it's the best day ever. I forget what vendor I was talking to, but I went in to talk to someone, and it's like the first vendor I talked to. They were like, okay, can you send me your wedding Pinterest? And I was like, I don't have a wedding Pinterest. And they were like, what? This girl has had a wedding Pinterest her entire life. And I was like, oh my God. So I log onto Pinterest for the first time in 15 years.
Yeah.
And the last thing I had on my Pinterest was a collage I made of Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance.
I can't, your Pinterest would be scary to me.
So it was like all emo shit. It was like all just like I Write Scissor Tragedies, all just like My Chemical Romance. And I was like, I'm going to start sending this to wedding vendor.
Yeah, you're an emo girl.
I'm an emo girl.
I'm a former
emo girl. Sometimes present if I'm feeling it. If my feet feel sturdy enough to wear Converse, then I whip it out.
You're a rocker girl. I was actually listening to Panic at the Disco this morning. The pregame talking to you.
Yes, for those at home, I have a solo show. My solo show Side by Side is heavily about my obsession with Panic at the Disco and Brendon Urie.
Yeah.
And then ends in the story of how I met Brendon Urie because I waited on him at the restaurant I was working at when I was like 23, and I had a meltdown. I like absolutely freaked out at him, which is like, I've never done that to a famous person before. I've like, or since I've worked for and with famous people. I'm like a New Yorker. I feel like New Yorkers are like, they see a famous people and they're like, fuck you.
Yeah.
But Brendon, something in me, it's like when you revert back to being 12, you're just like, I snapped. I was like, I can't possibly stay chill.
At least it's like a celebrity. I did that with this guy I had a crush on from my high school. And like I ran into him at a bar a few years ago and like you would have thought that he was Brendon Urie.
That makes more sense. Brendon Urie is despised universally. Nobody likes Panic at the Disco. Nobody likes Brendon Urie, and I was standing there just like school, and he's like trying to eat dinner with his family. I'm freaking out. I'm like calling my friend and telling her that I'm waiting on him in front of it was I had a meltdown.
Okay, so I want to talk about your solo show. So I'm going to give some background.
Please.
So it's called Side by Side, and it's a one-woman show. Like I would mostly stand up.
Yes.
A little bit of media.
A little tiny bit of media.
A tiny bit of multimedia.
Projection here and there. A song cue.
And so it's about how you grew up in rural Western Massachusetts and your older brother Aiden, who had a disability.
He was very disabled. He had the medical term is agenesis of the corpus callosum, which means like the two halves of his brain didn't fully connect. But also that could look like, that could manifest in any way. I've met people with it who were completely physically or mentally different than my brother. It's like a blanket term. So he was blind, he was in a wheelchair, he was nonverbal, he ate mostly through a tube. And he was 2 years older than me. So he was the first person I met, and my best friend, and we shared a room our whole life. So for the first 5 years of my life, I didn't really clock that he was certainly I clocked oh, these are the ways in which he's different from me and my parents, but I was not and that's bad and different, as opposed to other kids who have to learn about disability through it being sort of scary. I had to learn about it through sort of it being so normal that I was being weird about it. Aiden had a wheelchair. This is in my solo show, but he had a wheelchair, and it was purple sparkly kid's wheelchair. And when I was young, I was like, and where's mine? And why don't come on, why don't I get a wheelchair? He does and I don't. That's fucking insane. But then other things I would hang out with a lot of disabled kids, and our classmates were different abilities, and I would just be being rude to disabled kids because I wasn't oh, I should be nice to these kids.
No, you're such an ally.
I was I'm not going to be fucking nice to these kids. They're my classmates.
Yeah.
So, but then as you get older, you're oh.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite jokes in your show, because the school that you guys went to was called Side by Side, which is the name of your show. And it was a school for kids with disabilities and their siblings.
Yeah, it's a preschool program through first grade for kids with disabilities and kids without disabilities. You'd all go together.
And you would not let those kids win.
No, I would we'd do races or competitions, and I would be I'm gonna fucking beat you. And obviously it's kind of delightful to explain to a child that's hey, you actually have full use of your legs and your eyesight, so maybe you should chill. And I was no. Dunk on him. But it was definitely, I remember I was in it because I work I try every summer to go back to this summer camp called Camp Jabberwocky. It's for disabled kids and adults, and I just go back because a lot of my brother's friends went there, and it's just if you're in the disability community, it's a really big deal. And I was doing a training the first summer I was working there, and I was laughing so hard because the training was okay, never ever never lean on someone's wheelchair, because that's part of their body, that's their autonomy, that's me just leaning on your body. And I'm just laughing my ass because I'm thinking about how many times that as a kid I was just on the wheelchair, just throwing my bag on my brother's wheelchair, or being and I'm even though I feel I am so used to disability and I'm so in that world, it's so funny to come from it and be have to remind myself oh right, my whole life was just me using it as a coat rack, because I was great.
The show is so amazing, Maggie. It's just I've seen it twice, and I was telling so many people about it. My cousin is severely disabled, and so much of Aiden's story sounded just like it. So my cousins and family have been really involved in the disabled community, and we are Camp Jabberwocky is Camp Twin Lakes in Georgia.
Nice.
It's just such a great story, and then you are so funny. So what I loved, I don't even know how to do this transition, but
Try.
You had some interesting music choice for Aiden's funeral.
Yes. So Aiden died when he was 14 and I was 12. And like, you know, obviously it's like traumatizing no matter what age, but 12, it was like I was at my worst as a person and I was like deep in my Rent phase, like Rent the musical, like literally like depressed into Rent, brother dies. It was like it was horrible. But my parents, of course, they're like, okay, you get to pick one of the songs we play at the funeral. And I picked this, like, the first one I picked a Rent medley. But like I that's what I say in the show, but the reality was like that song where it's like, will I lose my dignity? Yeah. It's like a song they sing at like an AIDS meeting, and my parents were like, no, like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They let me pick this like Rent medley of like, you know, it's like heavily on like 500, but then like other stuff too, which now I just look back on, I'm like, my poor fucking parents, they just like lost their son. They're like grieving. They're like planning a funeral, and their idiot, stupid daughter is like, we play a Rent song. And I look back at that and I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah.
But they must have really loved, I mean, it was important for you too.
Yes.
To hear your music.
No, exactly. Again, I think they did I also like, this isn't in the show, but I like remember going like, at the same time, I'm picking the Rent medley. I'm being mentally ill. And then I remember going shopping for my brother's funeral. And like, I literally wore like bright pink gauchos and like a kitten heel with like stitching on it.
Sounds
And I
cute.
think about that, I'm just like, oh my God, just like me blasting Rent and wearing bright pink gauchos. That's very of it. It was 2006, and I was acting like it.
Yeah. You wore that to the funeral?
I wore that to the funeral. Okay. I wore like bright pink gauchos with like, you could like see all of my underwear because it's like, remember that material? It was like very stretchy.
Gaucho material.
And like, I can't believe that my parents were like, yeah, okay.
Well, he had a purple sparkly wheelchair.
Yes.
So
I had to wear my horrible pink gauchos.
I don't think you're too off base.
I know.
Do you know the term glass child?
No.
Oh, you've never heard it?
I've never heard it.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Learning something. Learning things.
Literally Heinous University. Okay, so glass child is a term for the sibling of someone who's disabled. So Jack, my fiance, his brother has muscular dystrophy.
Yeah.
And he's like pretty high functioning. But I see so much of glass child in Jack.
Yes,
Jack's an older brother, so just a lot more like shoves their own problems down, isn't super forthcoming about it, doesn't want to be a problem, doesn't want to cause attention, doesn't want to make anyone worry.
That's not me.
Okay.
That's not me. Is Jack older or younger?
He's 2 years older.
Yeah. So I think because I was younger, there was like, and also like, I never got to like, I was 12 when my brother died. So it's like, I was always a kid. You know what I mean? I was always a kid. He was always my brother. I was always sort of like, I was like very attention seeking because he got so much attention instead of being like, and I'll let you have attention. I was like, So I feel like there's a lot of it. Like I'm like hyper defensive of my parents because people will be like, oh, or it's like therapists or like I've been in therapy and people will be like, whoa, do you ever think about your mom? I'm like, my mother doesn't. How could she have done anything? You know what I mean? So I get like maybe too defensive of my parents.
Yeah.
Like in retrospect, I'm like, what the fuck? They were like dealing with like their child, like in and out of hospitals, like constantly on death's door. And then their other kid is just being fucking annoying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you're dealing with like life and death and also just like the most trivial shit at the exact same time. And honestly, like I touch on it in my show, like I would describe my childhood as like incredibly idyllic.
Yeah.
I did not really like understand that it was always something really scary, stressful, like life or death happening right next to me.
Yeah.
And like me and my brother were always just like going around together, or if it was like we would go to Children's Hospital in Boston and I would just be like, yes, Children's Hospital, I love Children's Hospital, because either I'd be like at the hospital and be so fun, or I would get to stay with this like these 3 nuns I would stay with while my brother was really sick and my parents were in the hospital. I'd be like, I get to stay with the nuns. No one is ever staying with nuns because something good happened. You know what I mean? Like, no one is ever like, something really good happened to my family and I got to go live with 3 nuns.
Yeah.
Like, but I was like, yes, they have a dog.
Why did you like staying with the nuns?
Well, they were just really funny. They had like, one of them was there. Her name was Sister Juanita. She had a really thick Boston accent and she would swear all the time.
Yeah.
If something, she'd be like, fuck. And she was a nun. And then she had their dog was named AD, which stood for adorable dog. And then also, I like posted this like, but like I was staying with them during one of the conclaves. Like it was like, which is like, oh my God, it's their Super Bowl. Like they were living for that shit. And I'm like, my brother's in the hospital, presumably dying. My parents are like with him. I'm with these 3 nuns in Boston. We're just like hanging out. They're like at the TV the entire day to see if there's picked a new pope, and like they're only leaving to like chain smoke cigarettes in the back, and like they keep on yelling. When they went outside, they would make me stay to watch the TV, and they'd be like, Margaret, yell if you see pope smoke. And they would like give me, as a kid, I like one time I guess I said I like giraffes, so they would like always give me all these giraffe stuffed animals.
I love that.
It was so much fun. And then so like, yeah, my childhood was like, dee, I get to go see my nun friends. And it's like, yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah.
So like my parents did like an incredible job. And obviously like when I was 12 and my brother died, like that was incredibly traumatic and tragic. And that was like, but that was like the first moment in my life where I viewed any of it as like sad.
Yeah.
Like before he was very sick, it was just like, it was not sad or tragic. It was just his reality and my reality. And it was a pretty happy one.
Yeah. What do you think of Catholic bandwagoners because of this?
Oh my God, I think it's crazy. It's like, why do you want this? What's that, like the Batman thing? It's like, you merely adopted the darkness.
Was born in the dark.
To it. I think it's wild. I mean, I get it. I have a little bit of like, I obviously like I'm like anti-Catholic Church. I think they're, pedophiles. I think I'm not like pro the institution of the Catholic Church, but like, and then you'll meet a Protestant and I'm like, you fucking prod. Like, fuck yeah. Papacy supremacy, bitch. But the bandwagon, I don't know. I think everyone is craving community and ritual.
Totally.
And I don't think the Catholic Church is the place to find it right now, but maybe if you need that, maybe go to an open mic.
I'm a Catholic bandwagoner.
Are you really?
Yeah, like my rosary.
Like I clocked your rosary.
I know. You're my first guest that I've had since putting up my rosary.
I did clock.
And I was like, perfect. I am Jewish, like fully. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I just kind of, I guess I was a bandwagoner. Obviously the seeds were planted during the 2018 Met Gala when it was the Catholic Church.
Oh, that was the most iconic thing of all time.
I mean, that was huge.
Nothing has ever come close. Every theme since has been like straight up, what was it? Like the next year was like China.
Yeah. Yeah. It was huge. The seeds were planted and then
we have the best iconography of all time.
It's everything.
We have the greatest visuals. It's why I'm going to say all of Christianity lasted so long was because the Catholic Church was so good at like set design.
Okay. And I was in Italy and I was talking with my friend about this and she was like, why is it that like, Italy's really pretty and Spain is really pretty and like France sometimes but not like other European countries? And I was like, Catholicism.
The Catholic Church.
The Catholic Church.
Imagine you're a peasant.
Yeah.
All you eat is gruel. You have 15 kids. 9 of them are dead. you can't read. You can't do anything. You walk into one of those churches. You're like, this is a higher power.
Yeah, God is real.
I walk into yes, the ones in Europe. You walk into fucking Manhattan into a Catholic church and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah. I drove by a gorgeous one in Brooklyn the other day. Like,
I'll go to mass.
Yeah, and then obviously when Conclave the movie came out,
that was huge for us.
That was huge for the program.
That was huge for us.
Then, of course, the real Conclave happened after that.
I know.
And
it was
while all of that was happening, back to back, Catholic wedding, my grandma's funeral, mass. It was huge. It was like I took communion.
No, we do. I mean, always. We do it. We do it good. Look, is the Catholic Church the original criminal organization? Like, holy wars that have killed more people than any other circumstance in history? Yes. Are they like an evil institution that systematically covers up child rape? Yes. do they know how to wear a fucking robe? Do they know how, like, it's like it's undeniable. It is like the biggest proof that like all you need is showbiz. All you need is a little razzle dazzle. They have a show.
They have a show.
They have scenic design. They have costume design. They have like narrative.
It's smoke.
Literal smoke and mirrors. Where does that come from? The term smoke and mirrors comes from the Catholic Church. Ugh. No, they do it well. They do it really well.
It's amazing. And yeah, so when I went to Italy, like I was Catholic maxing hard. Yeah. Like I bought so many rosaries.
Oh yeah, no, I love it.
Addicted.
I'm like my husband gets really mad because my only like the only two paintings I like drag around with us are my painting of the Blessed Mother and my painting of Jesus. Yeah. And I'm like, my dream home, I have a wall of crucifixes, and he's like, that's insane. That's crazy.
So then after the death of Aiden, that was kind of when you discovered Panic at the Disco.
When I was 12, I was getting like heavily into Panic at the Disco and emo music, and like specifically that album, A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. And so it's like this album, A Fever You Can't Sweat Out, became like the thing I would jump into to like escape the world. And it became the thing that I really grabbed onto. And it was like, by chance, that was like my like fixation at the moment of like at the worst moment of my life. Yeah. So then no matter how that thing ages, like Panic at the Disco, that still becomes this thing that is so important in your life. And like I have such an emotional response to that first album, and I have such a like connection to it, which is, you know, amazing to have that sort of thing. But also I have to be like, yeah, I have a special place in my heart for Panic at the Disco, and it'll never go away.
It's not, Panic at the Disco is not that bad. I mean, it could be like
modern Panic at the Disco is
modern
literally
Panic
heinous.
Is literally heinous. But it was so funny during your show because when you were first talking about like the opening chords for I Write Sins Not Tragedies, I also remember the first time I heard that song. Like
I think everyone does. It was like a sort of a game changer.
It was huge. I was at summer camp. It was my first time going. I was 8, and we were unpacking our duffel bags, and our counselor was like playing music, and then she paused it and she goes, "Okay, normally I wouldn't let you guys listen to curse words, but this song is really good."
You know, and she was right. She was fucking right.
And she played I Write Sins Not Tragedy, and I was like, whoa.
I think because it like took the Venn diagram of like, it was like emo kids liked it, but then it had this like musical theater girl quality. Yeah. Like it was very theatrical. It was very like it was very Rent, if you will. And it's like it got the like freaky musical girls. Yeah. Because it was like that hook and the story, and it was all happening. And yeah, it changed the game.
It really did.
And that whole album I still stand by. I love it. And then they did nothing good again. The second album's okay.
And the third, okay. So Brendon Urie, I did some more research on him to prepare for this interview. So is he married to like a groupie?
I think yes, Sarah. Nice. He married a fan, which no, he married a fan. He like wrote a bunch of like songs about her. I put this in the show briefly. When I met him and was serving him, she was also there. Yeah. But she was really nice. Like, here's me being like, yeah, he married a groupie. No, she's really nice.
That's so annoying.
I know. She's really nice and really beautiful.
My emo phase, I guess this had to have been around the same time because I was a little too young for it. Because I discovered Avril Lavigne, I guess when I was like 8. Of course. So I was really, really into Avril and would cut my socks into arm.
I would do that too. Fingerless gloves. You'd be like...
But I was like 9, like rocking around, like 4th grade, like rocking.
Fine, you can't be too young.
But it was the time. Okay, so over the years, how has your relationship to Brendon Urie changed?
Obviously, it's so. First album, perfection. Second album, they're trying to do like a folk album thing, which is not really for me. But I was like, they're like Madonna. They're like changing up their genre. I love that for my boys. And then they like kept breaking up in different ways. Yeah. And then it was like just Brendon Urie and the drummer Spencer for a long time. And then he like went off solo and just was like, he's just trying to hit really high notes and be sort of like, pop. I'm not into it, but like because of that first album, I'll always have time for it. Yeah. For me, the like nail in the coffin. Do you remember? Did you hear? You know that song "Me" with Taylor Swift?
That's one of my chic freaks for you.
It's the worst thing I've ever heard. I like can't believe it. Feels like it was made to enrage me specifically. I'm like, it's like Job in the Bible. I'm like, it's like you've killed my whole family. I'm like, you've made the worst. Like, you make
me look like a fool.
I'm like, you're making me look so fucking stupid. You made it with Taylor Swift. I'm like, I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift. I like pop music, so I'm not anti.
Yeah.
But that is maybe the worst thing Taylor Swift has ever done.
Yeah.
And in the music video, it's like pre-AI.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, this is the worst shit I've ever seen in my whole fucking life. Ugh, that was trying. And then that song High Hopes that Pete Buttigieg used in his like campaign, and I was like,
that was tough.
Someone's trying to kill me. He like got the band back together, just him, to play some like When We Were Young festival in Las Vegas, and I really wanted to go to that, but it was like $2,000, and it was a really like great moment where I'm like, most people who were emo kids are now adults with real jobs, and I never did the second part. I became an adult, but I never got a real job.
My like director went to that.
It was like the next day I'm like on Twitter just being like, yeah, I knew he was gonna play that song. Just like super. I was like, no, I can't keep living like this, but I will.
What does your husband think of all this?
He thinks they're like, he hates them. Well, he's okay.
He hates him.
He hates him. Two things are possible here. My husband is like, this is trash music.
Yeah.
But my husband is also like a 42-year-old straight man. So like his worst quality is that he's like a hater of pop music in a way that I'm like, do you think you're smart? So like I'm being insane about an objectively bad band, but also he's annoying. Yeah. So
he should at least feign interest.
And then he goes to listen to like Third Eye Blind, and I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Oh my God, my horrible taste in music.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, so if you saw Brendon Urie on the street today.
Very strange, because at this point I'm like, because I did the show at Edinburgh Fringe and I've done it in London, and like I have been written up in like publications that are big enough, like some of the major like publications in Scotland and the UK, and like in all the reviews they've done, which were very good.
Yeah, they were.
In the reviews, they always like Brendon Urie really catches a stray in any review of my show. Really? It's like, it's about Maggie Crane growing up with her brother and the worst band of all time, Panic at the Disco, or like spend Brendon Urie. And I don't say that in my show, so people are just like filling that in. So there's got to be like some publicist who works for him who it gets like dinged. Yeah, because it's like, you know, if anyone gets mentioned in like a major publication, they'll, you know, you're a publicist.
I work in PR.
So you'll know. It's like,
he knows.
Exactly. So it's like someone on his team is like, who the fuck is this American girl who's roaming the world buying life-size cutouts of you? And so it's like people on his team are certainly aware. So I think I'd have to be like,
yeah,
you may remember me from being crazy at a restaurant. Also, now I've sort of made my career off it. So it would be a lot.
If there was a situation where he divorced Sarah and he asked you to marry him, what would you do?
I don't know, because damn, I don't know.
You and Michael haven't talked about this scenario?
Michael knows. I would just be like, marry's a strong word. I would definitely fuck him. I 100% right then and there. Marry? I don't know. I don't know if I want to be like, Brendon, I swear to God, can you clean the bathroom? Yeah. Like, I want it to stay romantic.
Never meet your heroes, you know?
Never marry your hero.
Never marry your hero.
I don't want to be like, I told you all those plans, babe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just want him to be obsessed with me.
Damn. Okay. I want to go back to your solo show. What was your parents' reaction when you like first started writing it?
Well, they had no idea that I started writing it. Okay. I put it up as like new material show that I did not like say it was a solo show. I didn't like market it. I just marketed it as like new jokes. And then it was like, I tricked everyone. I was like, lock the door. Yeah. It's a narrative solo show about something pretty tragic.
Yeah.
So from there, I did that show and it went like very well.
And when was this?
It was November of 2021. Okay. And then me and my friend Annalisa, she came on to direct it and we like made it more into like a solo show. And then we did like a premiere of it for like 3 nights at the Brick in March of 2022.
Okay.
So that's when it started to be like what it actually was. And I'm like so Irish. I was like, we're like selling tickets doing it. And like a week before, Annalise is like, oh, are your parents coming? I was like, no, and they know nothing about it. And she was like, that's fucking crazy. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll tell them. So I send my dad an email. Crazy. I was like, hi, I'm doing the show. It's about Aiden. You don't have to come at all. And then he like emails me back being like, well, I just got tickets, so I'm coming. Oh, that's sweet. It was sweet, but
your
I was
parents are relatively creative. Like,
yes, my dad's a professor, so he writes both academic books and and some fun ones. And my mom's a nerd. She's very creative in that she's the funniest person I know, but she's also like does not understand the arts at all. My mom, when I got JFL, I got JFL. I call my mom. I'm like, Mom, I got JFL. She's like, you're gonna take off a whole week of work.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, yes. But she's the best. She just,
yeah.
But like, I was freaking out. Like I had, when they were in the audience, I like literally had a bunch of like industry there, but I didn't even care because I was like, oh my God, my parents are going to disown me.
Yeah.
I'm like making jokes about their disabled son. I'm like, oh my God, this is it. And then the show is going on for like 15 minutes before I even mention Aiden and before I bring up his disabilities. And how I intro his disabilities is I do this joke about how like, at his like birthday party, we were playing Pin the Tail on the Donkey, and I make the audience be like, and my mom, she made me wear a blindfold when I was pinning the tail on the donkey, and then my mom didn't make my brother wear a blindfold, and everyone's like, oh, what? And I'm like, and that's fucked up, right? And then I like reveal, I'm like, well, just one thing you should know, my brother's blind. So I like do the thing where I make the audience sort of like be against blind people, and that's the joke.
It's hilarious.
So while I was literally during the setup of this joke, when I'm like, my mom, I had to wear a blindfold and my brother didn't. And it's a setup. So everyone's just listening. And then I just hear my mom just start laughing her ass off.
Yeah.
Like before, I was like, okay, we're good. Like, okay, we're good. And they loved it and they've been so supportive of it. And honestly, now my mom's too comfortable. She's like, whenever she comes sees it, she like heckles me. She's like, Margaret. And I'm like, stop. But
that's so funny.
Yeah. They're amazing. But no, it was scary. I'm like, it's like, we're not like, my parents are like, I love them so much, but we're not like, I come from a very Irish Catholic, my mom's from like a very working class family. No one's talking about their feelings. And it's like, it's sort of very like march on kind of family. It's like, we get through things by being together, but not talking about it. So it's like, this show, it's like we didn't like ever talk about this shit. It was very like we didn't. So it was like the first time and like the only way I think me and my parents have been able to like acknowledge the pain. So it was good.
I can't imagine it's anything less than like such an amazing thing for your parents to like watch someone else process it in front of them.
That's what they have said. Obviously, like I couldn't even begin to think that before they saw it. I was just like, they're gonna hate it.
Yeah.
But now since then they're great. They love it.
Yeah. So you first kind of premiered it in like March 2023.
I premiered it as like the solo show in March 2023. And then it kind of like took off a bit in terms of like every time I did it, it was like selling out. And then I was like, okay, I'll bring it to Fringe. And I brought it to Fringe and did really well at Fringe. And then I got like this TV deal for it. We like I developed it into a TV show with King B, which is Emily Mortimer and Alessandro Nivola's production company. Rob Delaney was attached, and I had it with Lionsgate. And then that's why I moved to LA last year, because it was like we were pitching it. Obviously didn't sell because nothing sells. But so it's been this like, it's been like such like a process of like the show, the live show, the TV show, and then just like all the other stuff that comes with it, which has been like such a blessing and so great. But also it's like there are moments when I'm like, I'm having meetings about like, and how disabled is Aiden in the TV show? And I'm like, really disabled? Like,
so what was the process of pitching it as a TV show?
So I changed it like a lot. I made it modern day. I made the family like there was one younger daughter and one older daughter, so we could like get a bunch of the different experiences, like me as a younger kid with Aiden and me as a teenager. So I like split myself into two characters, and then the Aiden character was pretty much exactly as I written how I experienced him and how he was in the show. And then the family's a little bit different, and it was good. It was hard. I like love writing, and I like to think of myself as a good writer. Like redeveloping your own life, especially when it's sort of like not something you're always like. Yeah. It's not something that's always easy to to recall, was really difficult. And while I'm like obviously would love to like, I want it to exist someday. Like we shot the special, so even if it's just like out as a special, I want it to exist in like a way that lives beyond me, like physically performing it. Yeah. But after the TV show didn't sell and I got over my initial like, oh my God, I'm devastated, I was like, it's okay. I don't need to be like writing the worst few years of my life for the rest of my life. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
God, okay, so you were in LA for a few months last year doing like pitching it everywhere.
I was in LA from September 2024 to April 2025. 24 to 25. And yeah, we were pitching it all sorts of like, you know, all the major studios, and it was great. All of like the biggest things that happen in your career and like the most like shiny things are also the things that made me like lose the most sleep. I was just like every day before a pitch, I would just be like, it's like, and because I've pitched other stuff, but it was like, this idea I have about a crazy kooky girl. And this one's like, hey, thank you for my pitch. This is the most important thing in my life. Like, I'm so proud of it and I love it. But it's like, it is a hard story to pitch. It's not something that is going to be easily picked up, especially by like a writer who's not I'm not like a name. Mm-hmm. So it's like, there's not that to back it up either. So there was just a lot going against it. But it was such a good experience. Yeah. It was just so cool to work with all these like Rob Delaney is unbelievable, and to be able to like talk to him both about like comedy writing and because he wrote this book about his son who died. So we would just be like laughing about these like absolutely like devastating things that happened to us. The pitches ended. And we're like, maybe we'll stay in LA. And I was like, literally, this is the worst place in the world. Yeah. No.
I'm sorry, they didn't pick it up.
That's okay.
That breaks my heart. Were you devastated?
Devastated and like, but that is just like, you have to pitch 1,000 things. You have to do a million things. But then that's the business you do. And that's life. You just have to be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll do something else now. I've taped it as a special. It's coming out later this year.
Yay.
I don't exactly know where yet. We're working on that. So hold your horses.
Yeah.
But it is coming out and it's filmed so well. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Okay, so I want to talk about Edinburgh. Edinburgh. So
Edinburgh.
What is Fringe? How does it work? And then I know like reviews are a big deal.
Yes.
Is that everything at Fringe?
Everything. I mean, no. So like Fringe is, I mean, I've been once, so I am a novice. Like people like, especially comedians in the UK, your whole bag is like go to Fringe every year and to, like have a brand new hour every fucking Fringe. And like at Fringe, it's like very like, some people like become like famous at Fringe. Like people like it like makes their whole careers. For me, I was going in like I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, me and my producer Alexa were just like, what's going on? And it's like this like absolutely unwieldy thing. But then when you get, it's like, it was like my full-time job for like 6 months was to like produce and get this one person show ready for I don't know how like plays with full casts do it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It was so expensive for me. It was so much work for me. And it's just me. And then once you get there, you do all this work and then you're like at summer camp. Like you wake up at 2 p.m. You go to the city square and you hand out flyers for your show and you do Dancing Monkey and you try to get people in. Then you do the show. Then you go drinking until 5 a.m. and then you go to sleep and you do it all over again. Yeah. And it's really, really fun. And it's like obviously like, you know, tiring and like some like, especially at the beginning, it's like some nights you're doing the show for like 6 people.
Yeah.
And you still got to just fucking do it. And sometimes you're doing a show for like a sold out crowd, but it's a little hot. You know what I mean? It's like, and I did it 27 times in a row, which was, I mean, now it's like I could do the show at any moment. If someone was like, do the show, Maggie, I would be like, okay.
How long is Fringe?
It's a month.
And you were there the whole month?
Yeah.
And you did it 27 times?
Yes.
It's crazy.
It was correct.
So, okay, here's my question. So, obviously, you had, like, some shows were more important than others. Like, you would have, how do you, like, invite someone to a show, but you want to make sure it's a good show that they can
You would, like, so you sometimes knew what shows reviewers were coming to. So you would do like bribes with like other performers. You'd be like, I have a reviewer coming in to my show on Thursday. I'll come to your show and you have a reviewer. And essentially you would get your little army of like comedian or performer friends, and everyone would be in like group chats or be like, this show is really important to me. Everyone show up for this one. And they'd be like, okay, great. This show is really important for me. Everyone show up to this one.
So that's how you fill a house.
That's how you fill a house. Also, it naturally fills up more as it goes on, as you get good reviews.
Yeah.
Weekends, you're almost always sold out, but then you're like, the Monday, you're like, oh, okay.
And were you performing like 2 shows a day sometimes?
Never. There are some people who go to Fringe with 2 different shows and do like one in the afternoon and one at night. Yeah. And I think it would kill me. Yeah. Like, I like doing my like 70-minute show where I'm just talking. Yeah. Like, it was so hard. I like lost my voice. Also because I was like screaming every day and having 12 beers. So I'm like, I don't know why I lost my voice.
Your show, it's so high energy. It's so fun. I can imagine it's exhausting.
It's so exhausting. And it's like, for it to work, I'm not an actor by any means, but like for it to work, you do have to like let yourself be vulnerable.
Totally.
Like it doesn't work. I'm like, yeah, and then he died. Like, you know what I mean? You have to like feel that for real on stage, and to do that every day is a little bit like lucky for me. I did get very good reviews, but then I got like one like middle of the road review, and even though I got all these good reviews, even though it was going well, I like spiraled. And also like some of these reviewers are just randos. It's like it's for 1 month they get to be God. And I was like, I forget what he was like, she's really talking about herself a lot, and I'm like,
that's crazy.
Like, that's just, you're right. I'm talking about myself. Why don't I talk about my brother's experience? Why don't I?
Also, he wouldn't say that to a man.
Literally. It's like, she made it about her. I'm like, I also think that's the thesis of the show. Is that I'm doing it from the perspective of being a child, making it about them.
Totally.
Like, that's the joke, is that I'm being kind of shitty.
So one review you got was from Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, well, Ethan, so he, not a review, but he came to see the show because I used to nanny for him. So
not for Maya.
Not for Maya. People always ask me that. They're like, you're Maya Hawke's nanny. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm like 2 years older than her. I'm like her, like, what are they, like her lady in waiting? I'm like Maya Hawke's lady in waiting. I'm like, no, but like I met her. She's very nice, but I didn't nanny her.
Yeah, like he has other kids.
He has younger kids. I nannied for his youngest daughter, who's amazing, and he came to the show, and then he gave me a little clip, a little like thing.
That's so nice of him.
But it was so nice of him, and he was it's so cool. I like have nannied for a lot of actors, and they're always my favorite people to nanny for because they have fucking weird schedules and I have a fucking weird schedule, so it's just like really nice give and take of like they were like, hey, we're gonna be off filming for a week, can you live with my daughters? And I'm like, absolutely. And then I'm like, hey, I'm doing my solo show in Boston for a week, can I go do that? They're like, absolutely. There's like this very nice, like when you're nannying for people who don't live that life, they're like, well, you should like schedule your stand up around your job, and I'm like, ugh. And like Ethan and the other family I nannied for like never did that. They were like, oh, what do you need to do, which is really nice.
I feel like I feel like nannying and being a comedian is a tough combination because it's like, as a comedian, like you talk about like sex and drugs and crazy stuff, and then it's like, what if your family comes? But it's like if they're actors. Exactly.
No, like the first family I nannied for, Emily Mortimer and Alessandra Nivola, I nannied for their youngest daughter. They came to see my solo show the first time I did it, like before it was even like a real solo show. And they had the production company that they helped me develop it into a TV show. So it's like, it's all in the family. And I was scared of having them see me do it. The first time they saw me do stand up, it was like, you know, the comedian nightmare of like, you want someone to see your stand-up, but you're like scared of which show to bring them to because you're like, what if it's the worst show ever? And you never really know.
Yeah.
So I was living with them for a few weeks in Ohio because their kids were filming White Noise for Netflix. They're doing this Netflix movie, White Noise. So I worked for a few weeks as like a child wrangler on set in Ohio.
And I really liked with your life.
It's a pretty fun life.
You do. You have a really fun life.
I have a very fun life.
Okay, good.
And then I like, as I do whenever I'm randomly in another place, I like try to find comedy shows, and I like find this like little improv theater. It was very sweet, and I like asked to do a set there. It was like really close to where we were like staying in this house that Netflix got us. They were like, "Oh, we'll all come. It'll be great." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I'm like kind of like, you don't have to, but I'm also trying not to. And they've never seen me do stand up before. This is like before they'd ever seen me. And I'm trying to do the thing of like, you don't have to, but I don't want to like protest too much because then they'll think I'm not legit. I don't know. I'm doing like I'm like, ugh. And then I go to the show. I get there, fully lit room. Fold up chairs.
Oh no.
4 people there.
Yeah. Oh my God. And Emily Mortimer.
And Alessandro Nivola and their kids come in, and they're like, there's like 4 other people. Of course, it's not a stand-up show, so before me, everyone's doing like 2 prov or characters, and they're like using Emily and Sandra as like as like crowd crowd work bits. It was an absolute fucking nightmare. I was like, I've been telling these people I do stand up for years, and then I bring them to like maybe the most harrowing show I've ever done. And like I get up and I do well, but it's like,
how well can
you do, and how like, I'm the most sane person in the insane asylum. I did a really good set in the fully lit room. I think they were like charmed by it. They're like actors, so they're like, that was so real. And I was like, oh my God.
That's like the rich person code for like, that was crazy.
But then we went like to a bar after, and they were like, wow. But I was like, it's like the nightmare of like wanting someone to see you do stand up, but like, being scared of like what it could be. I'm like, it couldn't be worse.
Yeah.
Alessandro Nivola is like doing musical improv with some like random woman. And then
That's I mean, I've done that like definitely in my college improv days for sure. Like I was always nervous about inviting people to because at least with stand and why I gravitated towards stand up after college. With stand up I can control it. Like I can control myself.
But with stand up, if you bomb, it's just your fault.
Yeah. I mean, it's double edged.
Like, we had a bad night, but it's a group, and the stand up, it's like, no, I came in onto stage and everyone decided they hated me personally.
Yeah. I just can't get over that story because I'm like, in my worst moments of inviting someone to a bad improv show, I can imagine inviting not only 2 serious actors, but my bosses.
And their children.
Yeah.
I'm doing an embarrassing show in front of the 10-year-old nanny who is at that moment starring in a Noah Baumbach movie. Actually, I've got something going on too. It's like a fully lit room. You will be sitting in a fold-out chair. And it's gonna be crazy. But no, I have a video of it somewhere because I was just like, I can't believe this is happening to me.
Did you meet Noah Baumbach?
I did. He runs a tight ship, so really? I was never that close.
Yeah, of course.
And also child wranglers on set, it's like you have leprosy. No one wants to be. Everyone's just like, child wrangler, get away.
So I also want to ask, Sam Nivola.
Yes.
As you guys are friends now.
We're friends now.
Like 22, 23.
He's the brother of the girl I nannied. So I met him when he was like 16, and I started nannying his sister like extremely casually, and then boom, pandemic. I moved with them to like a remote Duke's estate in England for 4 months, and like trauma bond.
Yeah,
I had this moment with Sam where he like.
I want to tell everyone quickly, Sam is the younger brother on the new season of White Lotus.
Yeah.
Patrick Schwarzenegger's brother from that scene.
I know. I remember having this moment. I'm like, oh my God. So few people have the experience of watching the kids they nannied fuck his brother on TV.
That's a unique experience.
It's a really unique. And I was like, my husband was making fun of me because like I'm watching the show. I'm so proud of Sam, but I'm like, I can't like.
Yeah. So what was your reaction when he got White Lotus? What was his reaction
when he got White Lotus? I was not like working for them anymore, so I wasn't there every day, but I remember them texting me, and I was just like,
yeah,
that's
White
insane.
Lotus
White Lotus,
huge. I mean, everyone auditions for it.
I know.
It's crazy.
Only 6 people get it.
Yeah. And he's so cutie boy in it.
He's unbelievable.
And so you are married to a zaddy.
I'm married to a zaddy. I'm married to a 42-year-old zaddy. Salt and pepper hair.
How is it?
Salt and pepper hair.
What's it like? What's it like being married to a zaddy?
I mean, I love it. He's the best. But then like, it's like you have those moments where he like asks me like who's Phoebe Bridgers, and I have to go like take a walk.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
there's definitely like, you're like, oh, it's so nice to like, I enjoy, you know, I think I'd be with him even if we were the same age, because it's like my love for him doesn't come from his aim. No.
So he's also a comedian.
He does not do stand up anymore. He's now like almost full-time screenwriter.
Oh my God.
He also works for Topps baseball cards.
Okay.
Which is like huge for like a certain type of straight man.
Okay.
Like I'll like, you know, obviously to my girlies, I'll be like, yeah, he works for Topps, and be like, we don't know what that is.
Like, is that a gay bar?
Exactly, literally, like Topps. You work for bottoms, honey. And then like I'll say it to a random straight, and they're like,
yeah.
you look at my card. I have a joke about how the only reason I got married was so I could be a widow, because I believe sort of Catholic maxing.
Yeah.
I believe widows are iconic. It's like, I'm gonna have my little veils. I'm gonna be going around like screaming at my children like, what would your father say? God rest his soul. But yes, I think obviously very funny joke, and Michael's always a little bit like, also like the first line of that joke is that like I got married because I was like meant to be a wife, because I was born to ruin a man's life.
So you've been in comedy for a while.
I did stand up for the first time as like a stupid college student, like crying, putting my toe in the water in like 2016.
Okay.
January of 2016. And then I started for real.
That was like Obama administration.
Yeah, I literally started doing stand up when Obama was president.
That's crazy.
I'm
jealous.
I started doing stand up when I would have said like Louis C.K. was my favorite comedian.
Wow.
I started pre-Me Too.
But what have you seen like in terms of like how Instagram and like Instagram now is so different from Instagram in 2017?
Yes. Well, when I've obviously we had Instagram then, but it was more just to be like put a million filters on a sunset, and then like hashtag blessed.
Yeah.
And then like when I started, it's like there was not this culture of reels or like even posting sets, because it was like you didn't want to burn your material. You wanted to like save your material. The way people were getting discovered were like live shows still. There was like obviously like people on YouTube. Like I'm not from like the like prehistoric era, but like but you didn't use Instagram in that way as much. Like people who were posting sets, it was kind of seen as a little cringe. And then I think the pandemic broke that, one, out of necessity, like no one had anywhere to perform, and it was like, and then two, it was like, oh, we can like, people can do this without like the industry gatekeepers. Like people can just post it, people can get their own thing going. I am so bad at Instagram, and I'm like painstakingly like trying to get like
so
into
hard.
it. It's hard, but it's for me, it's not about it being hard. For me, I have this like mental block. I have this very like emo kid thing of like, I'm not a poser. I don't want to like post dumb shit. And then I'm like, well, that is how you get anything. And then I'm like, I don't think people who post are lame. I just think when I post is lame.
Dude.
And I just have to like get over that.
I don't think everyone can be good at everything though.
No, I was meant to be in a circus like 300 years ago. Like I was like meant to be like a jester who like they like keep in a cell, and then they like let like jump around for like 45 minutes. Like I was not meant to like work a day job. You know what I mean? I can't edit a video. I can't like, oh, let me time out my post. Like, no, I'm just supposed to be like living in a box in a boat, and I go to seaport to seaport performing for the troops. Like that's what I'm supposed to do. So I just like, it's very hard for my brain to do it. But I am trying to get better. Like, I read Liza Minnelli's book, and I'm like, that is the life I want.
Yeah.
Just want to be rolled onto a stage where I sing, like, bang, 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 goes a trolley. And then I have 15 barbiturates, and then I do it all over again.
Yeah, you'll get there.
I'll get
Well, your really good friend, Kyle Gordon, who I am a fan
of. I went to his bachelor party this past weekend.
Really?
It was me and 10 boys.
You're a guy's
I was
girl.
the only girl. I like, oh my God, I'll never stop talking about it. On my deathbed, I'll be like, I'm a guy's girl. I'm actually one of the guys.
Was it so fun?
It was so much fun. I love those are my boys for life now. No, it was really amazing. I've never just been in a group of like 10 straight boys of my own volition. Because I don't want to die. But it was great. At one point for like an hour, they were all telling each other what flight patterns they live under.
Girl.
They were all like, yeah, this kind of plane flies over my house every day at 3. And I'm like,
yeah,
that's wild.
So I actually do know that. So 2 of my best friends that I met in New York City were from your class, which is literally crazy.
I love creating community.
So after one of Emily's birthday parties, and Emily's birthday is always like the most iconic thing ever, whatever. We obviously got so drunk. Carmel slept over, and in the morning we were hungover at Maria Hernandez eating bagels in the park and noticed that planes kept flying over us. And we were like, what flight path are we under? So
you guys, girls. She knows what flight plan she's under. She's a guy's girl.
Carmel's like, I actually have the app that tells you what plane you're looking at. So we spent an hour eating our bagels, watching the plane. Carmel be like, okay, that's a Boeing. Okay, that's an Airbus.
That is so foreign to me.
Okay, that's going to LAX. Okay, it's coming from Boston.
You're living in a post-gender world. I'm just too old. In my day, women didn't know that. Now you're breaking down stereotypes. I'm like, wow. I'm watching my granddaughter like wear pants for the first time, knowing that you know about planes. No, it was crazy. I've never once thought about a plane in the sky. And then it was really fun. It was just a bunch of boys. They were great. There.
Okay, so I want to transition into a Literally Heinous original segment called Chic or Freak. So I'm going to give you a few different items. You're going to tell me if it's chic, which is like cool, sexy, fun, unique, interesting.
Chic means? Or explain chic to me.
Okay, here's the thing. So I did that to a guest recently.
It means weird. It means bad.
So I did it to a guest recently, and he was like, yeah, I know what they mean. And I was like, okay, I'm never going to do that again. But then when I interviewed Eric Martini, I didn't give the definitions. He asked for them.
Dumbass Eric Martini.
He was like, do you want...
Yeah, I bet he doesn't know what chic means. Let's start a war with Eric Martini on this podcast. Well, thank you then. I actually thank you.
Okay, Chic or Freak. My first one we already talked about.
Okay.
Which is Me by Taylor Swift and Brendon Urie.
Freak, absolute freak. And the fact that I have to even like pretend it's chic sometimes is like, it makes it even more freak. Like, it's the freakiest shit. It's the worst Taylor Swift song, which to me, saying a lot.
Yeah. And the fact that it's with your man.
It's with mine. She took my man and she didn't even have the decency to make a good song.
Yeah.
If you're going to take my man, write a fucking good song.
Okay, well, there's a theory going around about how like anytime she collaborates with someone, she ruins their career.
That checks out.
Chic or Freak, Brendon Urie being the only member of Panic.
Freak, absolute freak. You were in a perfect band. You were in an emo band, and now you're doing like, who's that guy from American Idol? Adam Lambert. Yeah. You're doing some Adam Lambert ass shit. Which is like, good for Adam Lambert, whatever. But like, no, it's absolute freak. Get the band. Every white boy should get the band back together. Yeah. I don't want to see any more backflips. I don't want to see any like everyone's trying to be Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury was in a band. You know what I mean? Get your ass back in a band. Freak.
Chic or Freak, husband and wife having a podcast together.
Freak. I mean, I would chic to me if a divorced couple podcast.
That's cool.
That's chic. Married couple, I feel like I associate that, you know, when you're like scrolling on like on Instagram and they're like, it's like a Christian couple and it's like, yeah, and that's actually when he struggled with his porn addiction.
Oh, yeah, like Maddie Pruitt.
And I'm just like, what? Why the hell are you offering any of this up?
I have thoughts around this. I saw a video the other day about a boyfriend making a video. He was like, how to not be a bare medium boyfriend. Like, and he's like, I like to, you know, a few times a year go through my girlfriend's makeup bag and anything that's almost empty, replace it. And I was like,
I saw that.
I saw Jack with his
rifling through my gorgeous makeup bag, getting his little fingers in my makeup bag.
Literally, like with his grubby little paws on my makeup, I'd be like, "What are you doing?"
Also, I'm like, "What if I want to try something new? Like, what if I just?" Also, it's like, "Give me the money."
And that's controlling behavior.
I agree.
Okay, Chic or Freak, Fall Out Boy.
Chic. I love Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
I think I like Fall Out Boy more than Panic at the Disco, but because of this solo show, I am so pigeonholed into Panic at the Disco. I love Fall Out Boy.
Okay.
Love them.
Related, Chic or Freak, All American Rejects.
I'm gonna say chic. there would have been times when I said freak, but now I'm so nostalgic for music like that I'm like, I can't be picky.
Yeah.
Also, like, me and my friends, I remember so clear. You were probably too young for this. They had the music video for Dirty Little Secret where like people.
No, I know.
Yeah, where
I
like
know.
people holding up their secrets, and I thought they were like crazy.
Yeah.
I was like a kid, and it's like, I had sex with my teacher, and I was like,
yeah. Okay, so I have millennial vibes. Do you remember AOL music videos?
Yes.
There was like a whole platform. Of
course I do.
And I used to live on AOL music videos.
Yeah.
Like Simple Plan.
Yes, love Simple Plan.
Huge.
Love Chic.
Oh, the music video for Hooba Stanks.
You're gonna take off your skin suit and you're like a Gen Xer.
No, I have like I'm born. I was 97, so like I'm not that young.
Okay.
But Hooba Stinks, the music video.
Reason to share.
I would watch that and cry.
Yeah, it's all Chic.
I was a little emo. I just was too young.
Look, time has made it chic to me.
Chic or freak, stand-up teachers performing at graduation shows.
It is the freakiest shit ever. It is like, so whenever I do a set at my like class shows, I'm like, I've bombed sets of those. I've straight up like in front of all the students that they paid to learn comedy from me, and they're like families, and I'm up there like, nah. It's the worst ever. You have to do it, and I'm honored to do it, but it's like, it's one of the more like painstaking performances because no one is there to see you.
Yeah.
Which is great. Correct. It's like everyone's there to see whoever took the class. You are like automatically, there's like a certain amount of like spotlight on you because like, well, let's see what you got.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so you think you can teach.
Yeah.
And then usually it's fine, but like the worst is when I have to substitute other teachers' class shows. Because no one knows me or gives a fuck about me at all. I'm doing some dancing monkey shit up top.
Can't you like just not do it?
You can't not do a set because like you have to warm the crowd up, especially for like new comedians. It's like I don't want to like have the first person up like be like you know.
Yeah. No, that's okay.
Those are so not about me.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, well,
just do your tried and true.
Do my tried and true.
Okay. Age gap relationships.
Absolutely chic. So chic. When your friends are a little worried about you, chic, but then also the magic of that wears off and you like forget you're in an age gap relationship because you're just like with your partner. You know what I mean? Like the like age gap thing was like sexy for like 1 year and then I like forgot.
Yeah.
And I remember when my husband is like, my back. And I'm like, that's not chic.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm obsessed with you. You have cracked me up so much. Where can everyone find you? What are you working on lately?
I am. When is this coming out?
Tuesday.
I will have just filmed doing a set for Cracked Comedy, so keep an eye out for that. I'm coming out with a new solo show soon.
Oh my god.
Dates TBD.
Can you give us like a little crumb of what it's about?
It is about, in 2018, I participated in the Irish version of Miss America.
Whoa.
Because they let New York compete in, it's called the Rose of Tralee. And there's like a New York Rose, like a Miss Rose. So I did it. It's like obviously so janky and freaky because it's Ireland. Mm-hmm. So I participated in that beauty pageant, and it's a solo show about that experience. More.
I'm so excited.
I know, I'm very excited.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then your solo show Side by Side will be out at some point this year.
Somehow, yeah, it's gonna be special. Give me a follow at Maggie Crane, and you'll see all this stuff there.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming.
This is so fun.